If you are someone who loves eating bread but are intimidated by the idea of making it at home, this video is for you. Today I'm showing you how I make my easy no-knead focaccia bread. It's crusty from the outside, pillowy soft from the inside. It's absolutely delicious. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Saloni and let me show you how to bake bread. For the dough, we'll first add the flour to a bowl along with the salt and sugar. For today's recipe, I'm using instant yeast. This is easily available in the market. You can also choose to use active dry yeast if you like. The only difference is that you will have to mix the yeast with some warm water and sugar to activate it before using it. If you're using instant yeast, you can directly mix it in with the flour. One thing that you have to take care of when using instant yeast and putting it in the flour is that just make sure it's not touching the salt directly. Just mix it in gently on the side. If the yeast comes in contact with the salt, it might affect the rice. So just be careful while mixing it. Add in the lukewarm water. Make sure it's not too hot or else it might kill the yeast. Add in the olive oil and mix the dough until it becomes a shaggy dough. Once you've mixed the dough well and there are no dry bits, cover the bowl with some cling wrap. And now you have two options. One is that you let this ferment for about 2 hours at room temperature, or else you cover it and put it in the refrigerator for about 10 to 12 hours. So I made this dough last night. It's been sitting in the fridge for about 12 hours. And now we're going to transfer it to an oiled bowl. Just add a little bit of olive oil to another clean bowl and we'll transfer our dough. And now what we want to do is just lightly wet the spatula and we'll start folding this. So what the folding is going to do is it's basically going to create that beautiful structure in the focaccia, those air pockets that we all love. And we're just going to keep on folding it over itself. You don't need to use your hands because it's a really sticky dough. Just keep wetting the spatula and fold it. We're going to do this for about a minute. So after folding it for about a minute, you want to just try to turn it over itself, so the surface is nice and smooth. You can use any tin that you have at home, whether it is a round cake tin or a 9 by 13 inch tin or even an 8 by 8 inch square tin. So the kind of tin that you choose will sort of depend on the kind of focaccia that you want. So if you want like a thicker, more fluffier focaccia, then you can go for a smaller and more deeper tin. And if you want a little bit of a flat and crispy focaccia, then you can go for a more shallow and wider pan. So I'm using a flatter baking tray for this. Just add a generous amount of olive oil at the bottom. Spread it evenly and put the dough on it. We're now going to stretch the dough out to the edges of the tray. Just wet your hands and start spreading it out slowly. After spreading out the dough, we're going to cover it with a piece of plastic wrap. Just make sure that the cling wrap is greased so that the dough doesn't stick to it. And now it's time for the final proof. Put it in a warm place for about 1 to 2 hours until it doubles in size. So our dough has been sitting for about 1.5 hours, and as you can see, it has fermented beautifully. It has doubled in size, and now we're going to dip our fingers in some water and dimple the focaccia to give it the classic focaccia look. We're going to drizzle our focaccia with a mixture of olive oil and water. I'm topping this up with a little bit of rosemary. You can choose to add any inclusions that you'd like. Finish this with a generous pinch of flaky salt. It's now time to bake our focaccia, so let's put it in the oven. And our bread is out of the oven and it smells heavenly. I wish you guys could smell this right now. I'm getting super impatient, but we have to wait for this to cool down before we slice into it. Our bread is finally ready. I'm going to drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil before we cut into it. Just listen to this crunch. And just look at that beautiful texture. Okay, I can't wait any longer. Let's try it out. This bread is so good, you guys have to try it out. And you saw how easily it came together. It's super versatile. You can use it for sandwiches or eat it as it is with some balsamic vinegar and olive oil. And it even makes for a great pizza base. So you can use the dough to make pizzas as well. Try it out for sure. You can find the full recipe in the description box below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned for more on my YouTube channel, and happy baking!